So the USA execs were upset with McMahon. They said to him, hey Vince, we saw what you did for Fox, gave him Roman versus Ray. So in return, we demand a main event in that red rod cell. I'm John Rickman with my review of WWE Raw. We're coming off of Hell in a Cell pay-per-view that certainly happened. It certainly fucking existed. And man, that goddamn red licorice cell is certainly a goddamn eyesore, isn't it? But it would have been amazing if they made it out of red licorice, because then the competitors could have tried to eat their way out of it. Imagine Bayley and Bianca trying to eat their way out of... Sorry, I lost my train of thought right there. Man, it was noteworthy for being the final WWE pay-per-view inside the award-winning WWE Thunderdome. What awards has the award-winning WWE Thunderdome won? Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck cares? Refer to my Hell in a Cell review to find out the answers to all those questions and less. But that was Hell in a Cell, and they're still in the Thunderdome, but man, they're going into fucking overdrive because they're going to be going back out on the road soon. They've trimmed it down to about 725,000. I think they actually got down to 720,000 times in the third hour, so they were only giving everybody, 15 concussions every 10 minutes, almost as many concussions as Chris Benoit had in his career before he did. Oh, this review is going goddamn well. That's how I felt about this fucking show. I'd rather make dark jokes because this show really wasn't all that good. And I want to explain why it wasn't all that good. I love the Money in the Bank concept. It started back in 2005. It was a WrestleMania staple, and then it bled over to its own pay-per-view. And sure, there's been ups and downs, and you had the double championships and everything. So you'd have one cash and be good. You'd have one cash and be kind of shit. I'm just going to refer to Alberto El Patron or Alberto Del Rio having a shit cash in at SummerSlam 2011. But of course, you already knew that. Thanks, Kevin Nash, for coming out and ruining the Summer of Punk. Oh, wait, that's Triple H that ruined the Summer of Punk. I'll be retro-reviewing some of the Summer of Punk coming up, including the Pipe Bomb episode, even though that word has been really fucking overused. The infamous CM Punk promo that is still pretty damn quotable today. I'll be retro-reviewing that at some point. But back to this. Yes, Money in the Bank is taking place in Fort Worth, Texas, and they want to get crowds back. And I don't blame them for wanting to get crowds back. I just don't know how they're going to receive shows like Raw, because Raw has really been in the shitter. And what was frustrating about this episode, there were glimmers of hope. The main event actually accomplished something. There were elements of good, and then they would do dodgy finishes and bullshit and everything and stuff that I can't imagine that many people like, because not that many people are watching. I mean, there's diehards like myself that will tune in to watch the wrestlers they like and tune in out of habit, because I've been a wrestling fan for 36 plus fucking years. The first wrestling event I watched was War to Sell the Score, and since then I've watched events since before I was born, and I'm a fucking wrestling addict. Good, bad, or indifferent, I will watch it. WWE, AEW, New Japan, NWA, I'm reviewing all four of those as much as I can. And they had Money to Make qualifying matches. One in particular was pretty good, and then they would just do a bunch of bullshit that would negate, any progress that they made. Because Vince McMahon doesn't fucking care. So Lashley, MVP, and a couple of the beauties. I will say right now, I do enjoy the fact that they're sticking with this crew of ladies. Really nice. There is a cell-like structure, as Michael Cole would say, above the ring. What the hell is going on? Oh, wait, USA Network was like, hey, we're paying you a lot of money, Vince, so we want our own Hell in a Cell match. We don't care that creatively it doesn't make any goddamn sense. We want it because we're paying you a lot of money. Maybe not as much as Fox, but yeah, we're paying you a lot of money. So they talk about how Drew can't challenge Lashley again. The New Day shows up. And by the way, Lashley and MVP were doing a toast, and the women, boy, they were certainly having fun and bouncing that blonde. Boy, and that one that is in shape that looks like she could move the ring by herself. They were having fun. They were doing a toast. And then New Day shows up with some toast. It's Powdered Toast Man. Ren and Stimpy, fuck the world. So, They could have accomplished the same damn thing by not having them throw pieces of toast at MVP and Lashley and the women. So they just completely wrecked any momentum that this opening segment had. And Lashley had to struggle mightily, almightily if you will, to get the goddamn thing back by the end of the show. And it was just so goddamn stupid. They ruined it by throwing toast. And I understand the New Day likes to have fun and everything, but this didn't need them to throw. They were already dressed up like Power Rangers. They didn't need to be throwing toast. This isn't entertaining. Wasting food at this point, I don't really think it's all that entertaining. I just think, oh yeah, you're wasting food. Hooray, you've been doing this for years, and it wasn't funny back then. So, Kofi challenges Lashley and edits the clip where he beat him, after Drew had jammed a cane into Lashley's thick throat, and then Lashley got rolled up and everything, so he got beat. And Lashley was all upset and was like, fine, you threw toast at me and you showed that edited clip, I accept. But he says, hey, I want it to be one-on-one, so I'm going to challenge Xavier to a match tonight and beat the shit out of him. And Xavier says, okay, I can make matches because the USA Network exec, brain parasites have invaded my brain. Hard to believe they got through his goddamn thick hair, but they did. And he is now able to make Hell in a Cell matches because the cell-like structure is hanging there, and I'm going to challenge you to a Hell in a Cell match. Okay. And he did actually have one good line, toxic testosterone meatheads, and that was fine. Cool, whatever. So, yeah, they had, at least that was the last thing they had that involved food. Oh, wait, no. Styles and Almost are walking by, and then the Viking Raiders are talking to them, and Ivar, has his meat out and everything, and is, ingesting his meat in front of his tag partner, and also Styles and Almost. And I'm sure that Styles, appreciates seeing another man's meat, given how he feels about the gay community. No, I'm not going to let that go, nor should anybody. And then, they're kind of going back and forth and everything, and the Viking Raiders knock Styles, and then he slaps Ivar's meat out of his hand. And have fun on seeing that, because if I have to picture the stuff this way, then so do all of you people. What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people? So we get Styles with Almost versus Ricochet. Ricochet has pyro. Why? I would like Ricochet a whole lot more if he would apologize and distance himself and actually disassociate himself from dealing with Chase and Rance. If you don't know the name Chase and Rance, you fucking should. Just Google. You'll find out why I fucking hate him. And Moose, yeah, that guy can get in the fucking bin also. So, anyway, we get some flippy shit where Ricochet just bounces around and everything, and then Styles runs him into the post. Like, what the fuck's this guy doing? And then Styles beats him down for a bit. We get some moves spamming, and we get some near falls, and we get some pretty good action because both these guys are good workers. Styles is definitely the veteran, but Ricochet can do some good stuff as well. And then the Viking Raiders show up to brawl with Almost, and then he runs through the barricade. Because why the hell not? This distracts Styles just enough so he gets hit with the code breaker trying to hit the phenomenal forearm. So distraction finish, ticker number 1. But at least he didn't hit him with a roll-up. Don't worry, that comes later. And then Riddle is on his scooter and talks about the Money in the Bank briefcase and talks about storing his stash, telling this to Orton. His stash, we get it, Riddle. You smoke weed and you don't take no for an answer. So Orton then says, you want my advice? Stay out of my way. Are they already disbanding this team? I didn't really care. They have an RK Bro, spoopy mug for whatever reason. Even, yes, she actually called Piper Niven Dewdrop. That is the only time you're going to hear me reference that name. Why don't you just tell Piper that you don't respect her? Seriously, that's a fucking stupid name. That's a dumber name than most of the stuff they came up with in the New Generation era and like up to 96 and stuff like that. They had, Bill Irwin called the Goon. They had Barry Windham as the Stalker because he liked to hunt. It was really fucking dumb. That's a wrap on Piper's WWE run unless they just send her home for 6 months or have her train, have her off of TV, and just have her show back up at the Rumble as Piper Niven and have her destroy people in for 20 minutes and have her destroy people and have a dominant like heel Diesel like run in 1994. And then she'll beat Bob Backlund for the WWE Championship in 2022 somehow. So, Corey basically tries to justify the name or whatever and justify, this Dewdrop name, and Eva's trying to give her a rebirth, give her, a new life and everything. And I think the ink and the infidelity has gotten to Corey's brain. And I love saying that because if anybody really believes that, his wife and him were separated before him and Carmella got together. If you believe that, I got a fucking bridge to sell you because trust me, when it comes to infidelity like that, whether you're married or not, you're not very good at hiding it. There's usually always something going on. Trust me, I know. So anyway, Naomi and Asuka versus Eva and Piper. That's her name. Her name is fucking Piper Niven. So anyway, Eva refuses to wrestle because she can't, because she's trash, because she shouldn't be brought back. This was embarrassing. Here's why this was embarrassing. Because they had this thing set up where Piper had beaten Naomi last week in pretty convincing fashion, and then Eva's like declaring herself the winner, and then Piper gets all upset with her. Eva gets rolled up with the most devastating maneuver in all professional wrestling. Yes, the surprise roll up 1, 2, 3. What was this for? Who was this for? I don't have a problem with Eva and Piper not being in the Money in the Bank ladder match itself, even though I have a feeling they're going to somehow slot Eva Marie in there, and then they're going to have Eva Marie win the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then you might as well just send all the women home and just let Eva hold a briefcase that's such a shiny object, she'll probably get distracted and get hit in traffic, like that chick, from Final Destination 1. You can just drop, that was really funny. Except that's unfair, because that bus actually had more personality than Eva Marie could ever hope to have. So this return has sucked. I knew it was going to suck, and it's actually worse than I expected. So Sonya and Pierce are suddenly in the ring. They say to Rhea, hey, Rhea, come out here. What you did at Hell in a Cell was completely unacceptable. By the way, she hit her with the plywood part, on the announcer's table. The same announcer's table that Randy Orton's dropped people on and hit people with and everything. And he dropped the Singh brothers and he's done all that stuff. And people have done backdrops and everything on the announcer's table. And it hasn't led to a disqualification, but it led to a disqualification there. The rules that apply to me and not Charlotte. Charlotte shows up. It's like, I was kicking your ass. No, you were missing her ass. You were trying to kick John Cena. You were trying to justify your position. And I'm sorry, I don't fucking care if it's a bad camera angle or whatever. If she's not even going to goddamn try, just go home, Charlotte. Go home, get knocked up by Andrade, and don't fucking come back, because you don't deserve to be there. So anyway, they're going to have a rematch at Money in the Bank, just like that. Rhea deserves better than this. All right. So, recaps of Mandy and Natty on the kickoff. And then they have Tamina and Natty doing a photo shoot. And then Mandy and Dana are in the ring training. And then they kick them out of the ring. And they did the same thing that they did last week. Why? Why? For what reason? So, we get Randy's Venomous Viper versus Morrison's Dripstick. If I have to picture things this way, then again, so do all of you people. Money in the Bank qualifier. By the way, Asuka and Naomi are in the Money in the Bank match, in case you didn't know. Miz on commentary, that basically wrecked it because Miz was just shouting. Corey was laying the ink and infidelity rot his brain more, which is saying something. And the baked potato named Jimmy Smith was trying to talk. And Byron was Byron and trying to do his best. So, I should have liked this, but I didn't care. It's funny that I think Morrison's actually the older of the two. And I didn't mind who won, but here's the thing. They did an F5 ad, like an insert in the middle, and then they went back to the show. Now back to the program. F9, people keep saying John Cena's in. I haven't seen him in the goddamn ads. Har har. So why the hell should I care? Also, they're the Fast and Furious movies, and if you like them, great. I hated the first two, so why the fuck am I going to watch them? To where they're going to probably do Fast 10 cars in space. I'm sure they're going to put a Fast and Furious in space, and it's going to suck. So anyway, at one point, Miz, uses Morrison's dripstick, gripping it while Morrison is way far away, so he must be hung like a goddamn elephant seal. I don't know if elephant seals are hung like that. I'm not going to find out, at least not until I'm done with this review. Always delete your search history, by the way. And Orton's upset. Riddle then scooters down, and we get a slow speed chase, and Orton's distracted just enough to lead to Starship Pain getting Morrison the victory. Morrison in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I don't mind it. Maybe he'll get featured. That's cool. That's cool that he's featured there. Great. Fucking great. I mean, it's a bunch of years too late. I mean, granted, he was out of the company for a while, but still, hey, at least they're featuring somebody different. Shayna is backstage with Nia and Reggie and says, no one in that locker room scares me. Except possibly Creative, because Creative is bound and determined to ruin Shayna. Alexa has new and horrible music along with a new entrance video. Have I mentioned that I can't... excuse me. Have I mentioned I can't stand the goddamn Alexa stuff? I can't stand it. Nothing against her as a person. Can't fucking stand this shit. It's I don't... If they want to make her aggressive and dark as far as, like, she's just going to bow up and she's going to be like, a vicious pit bull or something and attack people and keep coming and all that stuff. Yeah, she keeps coming and coming and coming. Lol. Fine. All this supernatural bullshit undoes it. Because it only works when it's done right. And even with Kane and Undertaker, yes, it was done ridiculous, to ridiculous degrees at times. Not to the point of the concrete crypt match. Oh boy, that fucking shit. But at least with some of the supernatural stuff, you got to handle it better. And this isn't good. And people make comparisons to her and Abaddon. No, Abaddon is actually an athlete that does the Living Dead Girl thing. And this isn't a WWE, AEW thing. It's just like she doesn't use supernatural stuff. She scares people, but she doesn't try to use hypnosis and all this stuff because it's dumb. It's really fucking dumb. Also, Nikki Cross is apparently Super Eric now because they decided to watch, 2008 TNA and said, let's do that.
Was it 2008 or 2009? I'm genuinely confused. And also they said, hey, it worked for Mighty Molly, even though Molly, had a reason to turn. I don't remember what the reason exactly was, but her and Hurricane worked. This ain't working. This is a goofy outfit, and Nikki talks about being empowered and embodies her fighting spirit, and that she knows that Alexa's still in there. She's still bound, determined to do this. Months after they forgot this storyline, it's Nikki Cross and Alexa versus Shayna and Nia with Reggie. Money in the Bank qualifier. We get hypnosis bullshit. Vince, just admit that you hate the fans, that you hate wrestling fans. Just admit it. Oh, wrestling doesn't drive the goddamn show. If this was entertaining, I would care. It isn't. It isn't fucking entertaining. Anyway, Nikki Cross being super Eric, and then this was a dumpster fire. They tried to slap shit again, but Reggie stopped himself from slapping Nia because he probably realized, holy shit, I can't do this. It'd be like slapping a leather couch with a wet ham. So anyway, Shayna gets distracted, and Nikki rolls her up for 3. Third distraction finish. I really wish that Vince, Bruce, and Johnny Ace would just go away. Just go, let somebody run it. I don't even know if Stephanie and Triple H will run it better. They can't run it much worse. They get rid of Kevin Dunn, so at least we'd have less camera cuts. So anyway, Drew then said, yeah, by the way, Nikki and Alexa are in the Money in the Bank ladder match. If Alexa wins, if Alexa has Lily get the briefcase, then I may fucking rage. I may actually lose it. I may actually lose it on camera. Drew says he went through hell, but he will win tonight. Cedric, Jeff, Sheamus, Jinder's group, and Jinder are all talking and shouting. And, well, Jinder says, hey, if the Money in the Bank spots are sewed up, what if something happens to one of the competitors? Find me if something does. Hint, hint. I wonder who's going to get taken out. Not on this show, but later. Riddle versus Drew, Money in the Bank qualifier. Hey, cool. Something good, even though Riddle is, Riddle and doesn't take no for an answer. Drew sells his back because he got the shit beat out of him. Riddle tosses Drew out on the floor. Riddle focuses on the back. And then we get more tosses and strikes. We get Orton showing up to see what Riddle is doing. We get another break. We get the Claymore stopped. We get a ripcord knee. We get the bro mission. And then we get victory roll. 1, 2, 3. Another roll up. But this one wasn't by a distraction. Holy shit. And then Orton doesn't want to fist Riddle. Don't leave me hanging, bro. Because Riddle has upset Orton by, Riddle not getting distracted by shit. When Riddle is the more focused of the two, we have a problem. The more laser focused of the two. So anyway, Riker is backstage whipping himself. And then suddenly, Mansoor approaches. And then Riker suddenly decides to target the Arab man. He wants to because he's just thinking January 6th. It's a date that plays in his head. Because Jackson Riker is a goddamn piece of shit that deserves to be, verbally eviscerated every chance he gets. Fans should continue to tweet him, continue to, ransack his Twitter, and just get to the point where they verbally harass him. Because you know what? You can either learn and get better, or you deserve to be basically humiliated. And Riker should be humiliated for his toxic views. There's having different views, and there's being toxic like him. Anyway, he's talking to Mansoor, and he says he will strap Elias because they're going to have a strap match. And he can't say the word escape. Good English there, Riker. I guess all the CTE you had or whatever from working in TNA, finally caught up to you. And the fact you're a racist piece of shit. So then Ali is just off camera, literally 2 feet off camera. Hey, you're asking all the wrong questions. Hey, Ali, why don't you step in and say something? Congratulations to Ali and his wife for expecting another kid. Drew versus Orton versus Styles next week in a last chance qualifier. Xavier versus Lashley, Hell in a Cell, due to the USA Network mandate match. I know that's not what it's called, but that might as well be it. So we get a big fight feel. Lashley punches a chair, because why wouldn't he? Because he's Bobby Lashley. Keep the title on Lashley till next WrestleMania. I'm fucking serious. He's great. He's not going to get another run if they don't keep it on him. Keep it on him for, it would be just over a year. After that, have him win the U.S. title or something like that. Have him go on a dominant run doing that. Because he's in his mid-40s. This can be his big run. And that's it. And he can still do some stuff because he's a freak athlete. And he's basically ageless. But, Father Time does catch up with people. Keep it on him for just over a year. Anyway, Xavier lays into him with a chair. We get back from the break. Lashley's dominating him. At one point, there's a table set up in the ring. And Xavier does that beautiful and very impressive far elbow. But can't get the victory. And then gets hit, gotten from behind with the hurt lock. And he taps out. And then Kofi can't get in the ring, and Lashley just keeps beating down Xavier, and that's basically it. That's it right there. It was a great main event. It was effective, and it established Lashley as a goddamn monster. If only other stuff on the show was that good, because they kept doing a whole bunch of bullshit, and the show was frustrating. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.